Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Deciphering My Experience. My name is Eric, and I am coming to you from Anchorage, Alaska. I want to start out first and foremost thanking everybody who's been supporting the channel and the website all the while. I really do appreciate the support, and it's a lot of fun to watch it grow and know that there are folks out there that are actually paying attention and listening. It's great to get the feedback from everybody as well. I do appreciate all the insights and information and experiences that everybody else has been sharing with me. But I also want to bring to people's attention that I have been informed as of late that folks are getting unsubscribed to my YouTube channel unbeknownst to them. So please check your subscriptions, like, subscribe, share, do all that great stuff. I do really appreciate it. But in this age of disinformation, if I could just please ask everybody to share this information everywhere you can. I mean, this is the way of the world. They're trying to throttle down on the truth, and we, the people, are all it takes to disseminate the truth accordingly. So I have a truth to share. I have an experience to share. I want to put it out there. I want everybody to know what's really going on in the world, especially in regards to down at the South Pole Station. So I do have an article today that I'm going to share that is hot off the presses. It's headline. It's from NBC News, and it's from February 2nd, 2020. Havana Syndrome symptoms in small group, most likely caused by directed energy, says U.S. Intel panel of experts. Would that be a directed energy weapon? I would imagine so. I guess they just left off that tail end of the all too familiar acronym we're familiar with nowadays, DEW, D-E-W, directed energy weapons. This article was penned by Ken Delanian. So thanks, Ken, for sharing this info. I do appreciate it. So it's corroborating what's going on out there. And we'll start it up. The mysterious and sudden brain injuries suffered by a small group of American diplomats and spies overseas were most likely caused by pulsed electromagnetic energy delivered by an external device, a panel of scientific experts working for U.S. intelligence agencies has concluded. The panel's findings, while full of caveats, are consistent with what has been a long-standing hypothesis of intelligence officials and plumbers from the South Pole Station, that a foreign adversary, most likely Russia, is responsible for at least some of the symptoms suffered by those who have fallen victim to what is commonly known as Havana Syndrome. The panel's conclusions also are consistent with the recent CIA interim assessment, which found that most of the 1,000 people who have come forward with possible injuries have symptoms that can be explained by other factors. The CIA assessment issued last month also ruled out what it called a sustained global campaign by a hostile foreign power to injure Americans. But it found 24 cases in which it could not rule out a hostile cause, and those appear to be the cases the expert panel focused on. Many of those people are part of the original group of diplomats and spies who first exhibited symptoms in 2016 at the U.S. Embassy in Havana. Intelligence officials declined to say whether any recent cases are part of the cohort of unexplained symptoms or whether they believe Americans abroad continue to be at risk. Very interesting article so far. It's my belief and understanding that my crew for the winter season at the South Pole Station 2011 was negatively impacted by some sort of directed energy weapons attack as well. And as I mentioned on my video with Dr. Stephen Greer, I believe that there's a high probability that the Ice Cube neutrino detector is also transmitting on frequencies that can be considered directed energy weapons bands. So, forewarned is forearmed, folks. But back to the article. Intelligence officials familiar with the panel's work told NBC News that it did not consider the question of who might be to blame for the injuries. Only what the medical and technical evidence said about possible causes. Russia has denied any link to Havana Syndrome symptoms. Interesting that they even stated that they didn't even put any thought into it, but the article is trying to apply a hard bias towards Russia, Russia, Russia. The panel's scientific conclusions are likely to put a new spotlight on the theory that at least some Americans serving overseas were injured by an external force, a notion that many perceived the CIA assessment as having dispelled. A number of U.S. diplomats and spies who had reported suspected incidents had expressed dismay over the CIA's report, which was widely perceived publicly as throwing cold water on the belief that Americans had been attacked. The panel's findings expanded on a 2020 report by the National Academy of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, which also found that pulsed electromagnetic energy, also referred to as microwave energy, was the most plausible culprit. The report noted that Russia has a long history of studying and developing the technology. So does the U.S., folks, lest anybody be naive in this equation. If our enemies are working on it, so are we. Intelligence officials told NBC News that the panel included a group of scientists and technical experts from both inside and outside the government who reviewed more than 1,000 classified documents and conducted the most exhaustive study to date on the possible causes of Havana Syndrome. The panel focused on cases in which victims reported hearing a sound from a particular direction or feeling pressure in one ear, and who then suffered vertigo. They also sought to exclude any possible medical or environmental factors. I keep finding this sound thing very interesting that they're talking about in regards to Havana Syndrome, because this is the V2K, and they're really just glazing this one and not giving everybody the full scope. This is the V2K. When they talk about the panel focused on cases in which victims reported hearing a sound from a particular direction, that's the V2K. Keep paying attention to this as it unfolds and what this sound is. In the future, I don't necessarily mean in this article. The panel found that pulsed electromagnetic energy plausibly explains the core cases, although information gaps exist. Of course there'd be information gaps. The panel did not identify any device capable of inflicting the injuries. Of course not. This is where plausible deniability will be maintained by both sides. It's more than theory. We were able to obtain some level of evidence, one official said, but there are some significant information gaps. Officials said the experts also could not rule out high-powered ultrasound beams as a possible cause, like an LRAD, a long-range acoustical device that I've also been warning everybody about. Look into the LRAD. Look into, I can't think of the other name of it. It was some other system that they deployed to get rid of crowds, and I can't think of the name of it. I apologize. But concluded that microwave energy was more likely to have been easily concealed, low-powered, and able to penetrate walls. Shoot this stuff from anywhere they want and get you anywhere that you're hiding. That conclusion was notable because some Havana Syndrome victims reported feeling the sensation of being hit by an invisible blast or pressure wave while inside their apartments or homes. Some experts have questioned whether any microwave device that could cause such symptoms from a distance could have a portable power source. One suggested the power source would have to be the size of a small car, but the panel of experts concluded the power requirements would not be high. Yes, they have these mounted on Humvees in the military. So any box truck will do. Could be driving through your community. I can tell you I've definitely had Havana Syndrome type symptoms here in my property in Anchorage, Alaska. Just is what it is. Also notably was the panel's conclusion that they could not attribute the core symptoms of what they call anomalous health incidents, or AHIs, to any known medical condition or to some sort of psychological syndrome. So, folks, I mean, there you have it. In a nutshell, the CIA is aware that Havana Syndrome symptoms are legitimate. Their studies show that there's no known causes or anything to associate it to. So apparently none of these targeted individuals are crazy. They're just really paying attention to themselves, and this is a know thyself environment. So I hope everybody can really start to pay attention to what's going on in the world around them and understand that deception is the name of the game as of late. And myself and a fistful of others are doing due diligence to pull the veils back on how big the deception is. There's a lot of gatekeepers that are attempting to limit disclosure, I guess. I don't know who they function for. All I know is that my experience tells me that there's a bigger problem going on. And if these people are unaware by intention or omission, isn't so much my concern as it is to just inform everybody out there about what's really going on in the world. There's a lot of technology that's nefarious. There's a lot of technology that's been around for quite some time. But a lot of people just, aren't really aware. So I hope to just bring more light to the subject, and I hope that everybody can pay attention. And if you have any questions, please just keep writing them in. I do the best that I can, as fast as I can. But email me to the website. I can't just answer every random stranger that has every question that's been in the videos. So if you want to interact, please go to the website, jump onto deciphering.tv, hit me up in the email there. That's kind of where I focus most of my attention for inquiries and, real information, because I know folks are listening and they're not just, random spammers and stuff like that, trying to suck the life out of a movement. So please, if you're a true subscriber and listener out there, if you have information to share and you want to engage, go to the website, please. Jump on there. There is a contact section. It's a lot simpler. I check that pretty regularly. So thanks again, everybody. Have an excellent day. Keep on connecting the dots out there, and let's get this disclosure ball rolling fast. We need some motion in this ocean. We need some truth. Have a great day, everybody.